little match girl and ASMR free energy. Enjoy watching and listening.
It was New Year's Eve, and it was terribly cold. Snow and blizzard in that dark winter, and it grew darker and darker, and the evening itself was the coldest of all. Snow and blizzard, the wind was blowing through the streets, so strong that the blankets had to be torn off the tops of the cars, and there, huddled in a corner of the street, was a poor little girl, no doubt half dead from the cold and hungry. She had been born out there, where the tenant farmers had made a hut of branches and stubble, but the wind had blown her away, and that little creature lay there, now shivering with cold, now with hunger, and she didn't even know how to scream. They had nothing at home, and nothing to wear better than tattered rags. And she had hardly left the house that evening, because her mother had given her a smack and said, "Go home, little match girl, and bring home something good to eat." And now he was there, with his little feet red and frozen, with a pair of split hooves in his hand, but it was quite impossible to think that he could be put up for sale, so he held them by their little feet, just to keep them a little warm, and also so that the snow was falling soft and thick. Really, what must a little creature like this suffer? But that evening he was also the last of her in her world. Her little body lay stiffly on the ground. It had been useless to give her a couple of slaps. It was useless for her to have fed her. As unhappy as she was, time had passed, and there was nothing left that could make her happy. He had taken her matchsticks out of the box and lit them to warm her fingers a little. Ah! What was it? She stood with those little trembling hands, and each match lit with a great whistle and formed a great flame, clear, bright, and hot. She held the little one in front of her. She seemed to have a little heater, and the fire warmed her so well. But when the fire went out, she remained there with her hand closed in the void. She knew well what she meant. She knew that when you let the third flame go out, then you can get under the door. She saw the light also come on in the street, and the heat came towards her. A clear light was going that way, brighter than the sun, and the splendor reached high, high from the sky, and she saw the angels of God, with large white wings, descend towards himself, down from the earth towards the sky, and one of them, much larger than all the others, took that little match girl in his hand, and she let herself be carried. So much so high, so very high, where there was no longer any cold, no hunger, no fear, because they were in the mercy of God.
I hope you enjoyed the story. Good night and thank you very much.